decision that can define the shoot. A personal, creative, and technical choice made every day by photographers and cinematographers alike. The selection of a lens, described with words that signify emotion as much as science. Tone, color, sharpness, depth. Our goal is to remove the boundaries between what is imagined and what is possible. And for over 70 years of Canon history, it's why we've always placed glass first.
So Beth, one of the things that we get asked most often is about foundational lighting, like just really good studio lighting.
Yes.
So that's why we're here. We want to see, what does Beth Forester do for just what you do for that perfect studio light?
Well, today we're going to start with basically my basic lighting setup that I use every day. So, and you can build or subtract lights from the setup that I'm going to show you.
Awesome. All right, and we have Ricky, our gorgeous model here. So thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us today. We'll get started.
Okay. So Angela, we're going to start today, and basically what I'm hoping to do is turn one light on at a time so you can actually see what each of these lights is doing. So we're going to start with the main. We're going to then go to a hair light. Now my hair light it stays there all the time and it stays on.
Because you always use it.
Because I always use it. I feel like everybody other than a bald person needs a hair light.
So what does a hair light do?
A hair light's just going to light the hair.
It's a hair light lights.
It's a hair light that
the hair.
actually lights the hair. So if you have blonde hair, you really need a hair light because it's going to appear darker on the top of a blonde's head. And with brown hair too, you know, we want a nice little hair light going on as well. It's really going to make a lot of difference in the photograph. Now, I don't always use a hair light, not for every scenario. If she's leaning up against a wall or something like that,
right, where you can't get it.
Really can't get a hair light. But
sure,
in the main
separate
studio,
her too from the background.
Correct. So we have it on right now. So in a minute, you're gonna go over there and we're gonna show you just the main without the hair light. So you're gonna flag the hair light so we don't see it, and then you'll remove the flag so that then we can actually see what it looks like adding the hair light.
Oh, great!
Then we're gonna add the fill. And then we're going to add a kicker to give her more separation from the background, and then we're going to add a background light to show you how that's going to look.
Fantastic. So, all right, so we got 5 elements.
That's right, 5 elements.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're just going to start with the basic pose. Ricky, you're going to stay the same the whole time. That way, as we build this lighting, they can see. You don't want to move if you can help it. So I want you to turn this way. Yeah, not that much. And just bring this hand on your hip like this and turn just a little bit. Yeah, and then turn your face back into me. So, Angela, do you want to go over and go ahead and flag that hair light first, and then I'll have you remove the flag and we'll do the second shot pretty much right away. Okay? Turn your head a little bit more this way, Ricky. Yeah, perfect. You don't have to smile. You're just going to look at me that way. Okay? Go ahead, Angela, and remove the flag. Perfect. So now we're going to add the fill. So we're just going to use, I usually use a reflector fill.
And where exactly do you put that?
Generally, you want to put it opposite of your main light. So, but it really will change, if you can see, it changes as you move it around it. So the idea is to make it come directionally back into the subject.
Right.
And you just kind of play with it. So if I'm doing a male or a male subject, I move it a little further away so I don't get quite as much fill.
Okay.
And with females, I tend to move it a little closer so it's a little softer and I get a little more fill in the shadows. So it really just, it's one of those things, there's no science to it. Sometimes I might turn the softbox on its side and shoot more of a window light effect. A lot of times with seniors, I'm shooting more of a 3/4 shot. So this is actually the way I shoot. I do it both ways.
Okay.
But wait, so let's see. Let's do this with the fill. One more time, she blinked. Perfect. Great.
Good.
So now, Angela, if you can turn that kicker on.
Sure.
Turn your head a little bit this way, just a tad. There you go. Perfect. All right, now we're going to turn the background light on. And our lighting setup will be complete.
You know, it's so fun to see it this way too, because you can really tell what every single light's going to be doing.
Right.
You know, and
exactly.
get that understanding.
Right. So I don't know if you can see it in the video, but in here in this rim light, you get right here along the edge of her arm and her hair. So it's going to highlight the hair really nicely and give her separation from the background and give her more shape and form.
Right.
So now that we've shown you that that lighting setup, I'm going to do 4 or 5 shots as I would if she were a senior, and see what we come up with.
That sounds great.
With this lighting setup.
That sounds really
Sounds
good.
good? Okay, you can move. All right. Okay, so Angela, one of the things about lighting is, in what I find in a lot of people, is they'll actually go in and they think there's some exact formula. It's the light is here, and this reflector's here, and this kicker's here,
Right.
and it's not that. You want to move these things depending upon the subject and what you see in the subject. And I've already talked a little bit about like a male, where actually, the closer the light source, the softer and more wraparound effect you're going to get.
Right.
The further away, you're going to get a little more directional light. As you move this reflector around, you can see basically what's reflecting into her and how it changes in her face. So it's not exact, and I really tell everyone that I teach, like, move those lights around and see and watch as you're sculpting. Every face is different. Every body's different.
Right.
So you're trying to make sure that I like for each person. One really important thing, and you can see as we're doing this, feathering this light, watch how the light changes, the light quality changes on her face. As I move this light and feather it, you generally want to feather it towards the camera. That's where you're going to get the best light. So what I normally do is I just stand here and I watch. And if you watch it and look closely, you see it at a point where her face just starts to glow, and it's perfect. So that's generally feathered towards the camera. It's going to get a little softer effect, just beautiful light on her face. So, and like I said, most of the time with a female, I'm going to bring this reflector in here. But if we move it to the side a little bit more, then we're going to start getting a little more shadow in this area, if that's what we desire.
Okay.
All right, so I want to pull in a fan and just basically pop off a few shots and move her around just a little bit so we can sort of see this lighting setup in action.
Sounds great.
Sounds great? All right, so go ahead and turn this way. You're going to stand this way, slide a little bit this way, just a tad, one step this way. One more time. Okay, so rock and roll back into this point right there. Perfect. Now, I'm going to give her a little, she's got gorgeous hair. I want to get a little movement in here. Fans don't have to be expensive. They can be cheap. I have a $5 fan. I have a $20 fan. Do whatever. Okay. All right, you ready? Turn your head a little bit this way. So go ahead and bring this arm up. Perfect. And smile once for me. Perfect. Now I'm going to have you roll and turn this way. This way? Yep. So turn, you can drop that hair off. And just kind of turn this way. Perfect. Tilt your head this way for me. Perfect. Do this once, just shake it out a little bit. See, one more time. You do better the other way. Flipping this way. Tilt your head just a tad bit this way. Chin down just a bit and tilt your head. Perfect. So drop this a little bit, just drop, not your hand, like your shoulder. Perfect. Turn your head this way. No. Perfect. Just bring this hand up, kind of like you're twirling your hair right here. Just kind of bring it up and turn your hand this way. Perfect. Perfect. And smile for me once. That's good. Perfect. Look down when I say 3, look up, because I know that fan's kind of bothering you. Ready? Look down, chin up. I'm just your eyes down, chin up, chin up, chin up. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. It's good. So drop just a hair, drop your body and turn your head. That's good. Okay. All right.
Beth, we've talked a little bit about kind of your basic lighting. It's like the go-to, right? So we always start there. But I know your work is so beautiful, and you use a variety of styles and lighting. So can you talk to us a little bit more about how you spice things up?
Well, to be honest with you, like one of the things that I like to talk about is that I do a lot of studio lighting, and that I have a lot of expertise in it. So in order to mix it up and try to show, you don't want to just do the same lighting over and over again. Not to mention the fact that it's not going to give a lot of variety in your images, but it's not going to give a lot of variety in your life either. So I just try different things out and see what I like. I kind of want to have this concept or idea in my head of this real ethereal kind of look, and I basically wanted the person just as if I was shooting outdoors in, at the end of the day where they're just bathed in that light. So I wanted to sort of create a little bit of that effect in the studio, and I thought, well, how am I going to do that? So started mixing, putting the strobe behind the subject and using the main being actually behind the subject, and then having a fill out in front, and then using the reflector to bank back in, and just create a different kind of lighting, a little
bit of play, which makes it really fun.
Yes.
And also you get known for your work. So in your area, you can really differentiate yourself from your competitors.
Yeah, it used to be that, 15 years ago when I started doing high school senior photography, all I had to do to be different was to go outside, because most of the kids were having their pictures made at school. They were having their pictures, made at maybe Olin Mills or whatever, and all I had to do was be able to take them outside. Well, now most of the photographers do only outdoor lighting. So this is one way for me to differentiate myself from the pack, is by showing a lot of different varied lighting. So
cool. Well, I can't wait to see what this looks like.
Anyway, so what we've set up here, like I said again, the main is actually behind the subject. So we're going to use the big 4x6 softbox and put it right directly behind the subject. I'm actually going to lower this just a tad, a little bit. Now we're using this as a fill, and we're also using a big bank of softbox back here for the fill. And usually every subject's different. So the darker skinned subject, you're going to light it just a little bit different than a lighter skinned subject. Okay. Like my daughter, I first played with this with her, and she is really, really pale. So, you just kind of have to play and move this a little closer as to how much fill you want, how dreamy you want it to look. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of again, you don't want to just set the light and never move it.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to take a few shots. So usually I start out, I'll do a test shot right away. So I just want to kind of see what the light's doing, make sure everything is kind of the way that I want it, and then we'll kind of go from there. So Ricky, go move just a hair this way. And all I want you to just hold your arms just kind of like this, because I'm just trying to see what this light is going to do here. And I love it, actually.
When you're doing
it's
something
perfect.
high key like this, then their clothing kind of matters too, doesn't it?
Right. So I tend to like this because we're going for this real ethereal, dreamy kind of look. I always go for really light clothing, because then at that point is basically what's going to stand out, what's going to be the darkest part of the image is going to be her face and her hair. So that's the thing you're going to be drawn to immediately, as everything else kind of creates a little washed effect.
Awesome.
So now let's bring your hands up, like kind of up in your hair. Bring your hair still to the front, like push your hair forward, and sort of bring your hands behind your head like this, and then turn in and bring yourself, and like kind of rock and tilt this way, and chin this way. Yeah, perfect. So now turn back this way. So this is a pretty flat lighting, so she can basically almost move within this anyway. So I'm going to actually turn you a little bit more, and you're going to almost look over your shoulder kind of at me. Yeah, just drop this arm back. Perfect. Now scoot just a tad bit this way. Perfect. Now kind of turn and then shake that bang for me. Perfect. So now on this, when I'm turning her, I have to watch because I'm going to get a lot of spill around on her face. So when she's turned the other way, the hair's going to absorb a lot of that spill. But sometimes I like how it looks, so I kind of move them around and sort of play with the light as it spills around the subject. So I'm going to drop the shoulder down, turn a lot more, turn yourself a lot. Perfect. And drop and sort of, it's good. So go back to the front. You want to bring your arms this way and then rock your hips really hard this way, like really hard, and turn your shoulders just a bit. Bring your hair this way. Perfect. Shake your head just a bit. Go ahead and bring it all to the front. So from time to time you have to turn the fan off and turn it back on. All right, ready? So go back to this direction, like there. Ready? And we'll have you look down, and then I'll have you look up. So a lot of times I'm telling them to look down and then look up, because basically the fan, makes them blink a lot. It really bothers them. So if they can look down and then look up, it won't cause them to squint. Okay, keep. Now look up. Perfect. That's great. So now turn a little bit this way. Turn. That's good. And now tilt your head back this way. Chin down. There you go. Chin down. Perfect. Look down when I say 3. Pop those eyes a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So now this time I want you to actually sort of pull your hair out like you're playing with your hair this way. And then give me a lot of, turn your shoulders this way. And then give me a lot of hip this way. And kind of take this hair and pull, just kind of edge. Yeah, perfect. Go one more time like this though. There you go. Let me pop this off so you can get it in. So really turn. There you go. Turn your head back toward me. Perfect. Turn your head a little bit this way. There you go. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. That's good. Now I'm going to turn a little bit this way and chin up and tilt your head. Tilt your head. And when I say 3, look up. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right, that's good. Okay.